Formula One has formally rejected Andretti Cadillac's bid to join the grid for 2025 and 2026. This new bombshell story was just released on January 31st, and Formula One has said that Andretti is not currently providing any real value to the Formula One Championship in its current state with its joint agreement with GM brand Cadillac. Now, this is a hugely controversial decision because many people were really excited at the prospect of seeing an 11th team on the grid as early as next season. There were open applications submitted by many teams. All of them were rejected by FIA except for Andretti Cadillac. Obviously, this brand and the name carries a ton of pedigree. 1978, Mario Andretti wins the Formula One World Championship. Then his son Michael goes on to drive in IndyCar and Formula One, and he's now an extremely successful team owner in multiple different disciplines of motorsports, won various races and championships, and now he was looking to top it off with the crown jewel of them all, the Formula One World Championship. However, that doesn't look like it is going to be happening in the next couple of years. There have been a huge number of hurdles that Andretti and Cadillac have had to jump over to get to this point, but unfortunately they fell at the last one, and that was getting the approval from Formula One and the teams with their Concord agreement. They do not want an 11th team as it currently stands. Now, at this point, Andretti's entry was relying on a Renault power plant. However, that doesn't really seem like it's going to happen, and F1 was very clear that they want new engine manufacturers, and as it stands, Cadillac is not building their Formula One engine, or it will not be ready until 2028. Now, this entry from Andretti was for 2025 and 2026, and those are the 2 years that have been rejected. So technically, there is still a glimmer of hope for Andretti and Cadillac in 2028. I do believe Formula One even said the chances of them joining in 2028 are pretty high with their new power plant. However, right now, this is still an extremely tough pill to swallow, and one that Andretti and Cadillac strongly disagree with. There's been a ton of back and forth between both camps, the Andretti camp and the Formula One camp, over really the past couple of years, as many Formula One teams and bosses were very opposed to allowing another team into the grid because they were afraid it was going to steal revenue from them. And to be honest, it seems like some of them were a little bit terrified that Andretti was going to come out of the gate firing and do really well and kind of make the other teams look a little bad, to be honest. Of course, there is a huge expansion fee that an 11th team would have to pay to get into Formula One, and the Formula One teams were really trying to raise that for Andretti to in excess of $500 million. And Andretti was willing to pay this, surprisingly. He wants to get in as quickly as possible, and he will do anything to get in, and we won't let anything stop him. However, he really has no power over the Formula One's decision. Now, just to clarify, Formula One and the teams did declare that in its current state, Andretti and Cadillac, their partnership is not bringing any new added value to Formula One, which is a little bit shocking, considering that Formula One is now having a huge presence in the United States and is always looking to expand. There's 3 American races currently on the calendar, which is more than any other country, yet they do not want an American Works team. We do have Haas on the grid already, but let's be honest, most of that team has nothing American about it. Andretti Cadillac would be the very first Works team in Formula One for a very long time. But one key aspect that seems to be a little overlooked in Formula One's official decision and their statements is the competitiveness, or the possible competitiveness, of the Andretti team out of the gate. They stated the most significant way in which a new entrant would bring value is by being competitive. We do not believe that the applicant Andretti Cadillac would be a competitive participant. That statement is incredibly controversial because, as we know, Haas, the other American team, is really not competitive. We had years where Williams was consistently the worst car in the grid at every single race, so it is pretty shocking to put that in a statement for why they're rejecting a team, when all signs point to Andretti actually being pretty decent out of the gate with all the resources and the funding they have behind them. Of course, this made Michael Andretti and all of his assistants very angry at this decision, as they were not happy with what they heard from Formula One's governing body and the teams. Of course, there's been a ton of backlash from Formula One and Michael Andretti has sent his own shots at the governing body and the teams for being extremely greedy, and really who can blame him? Demanding the entry fees that they've been demanding are pretty insane, to the point where it just doesn't really make any financial sense for Andretti or anyone involved in his project. But unfortunately, we have to live with this decision that we will not be getting an 11th team on the grid in 2025 or 2026. Yes, there is hope for 2028. By the sounds of it, it might actually happen in 2028, but this could be interpreted as a bit of a bad look for Formula One for treating one of its former world champions and such a high-level name in motorsport pretty badly. And really, this is far from the end of this crazy saga between Andretti and Formula One, but we'll have to see what happens next. As it stands right now, Andretti is not in Formula One. Guys, stick to Racing Direct for all the updates on this new 11th team not happening in Formula One. See if it goes anywhere from here. But for now, stay tuned to Racing Direct. We'll see you guys next time.